The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees. Hello, I'm Elise of Joyful Plant, and welcome to Gardening Through Art. Today we will try printmaking with a gel plate, which offers unique, one-of-a-kind prints from botanical elements. Let's begin. To follow along at home, you'll need a gel plate, which can be purchased or made with gelatin, a variety of botanical materials, paper, a brayer, and acrylic paints. Gel plate printing is approachable for almost any age. It is full of serendipity and natural excitement for discovery. Collecting natural items can be entrancing and educational. Look for flat foliage or blooms with variation in shape and textures. Gel plates can pick up on three-dimensional detail, unlike most forms of printmaking. It is simple, surprising, and you can get at least 2 prints out of every leaf. We begin by using some acrylic paint, putting it on the gel plate, and then we will roll it out. This can be done with different types of paint, including finger paint, if it is a time that you're working with children, and everything can be done with non-toxic materials. You can experiment with the amount of paint that you like to use and how you would like to roll it out. If you're using a brayer, you can go gently back and forth and allowing them to blend. This is always experimental, and no 2 prints will be the same. This is a great way to expand your sense of creativity. We will use the sword fern. I will first put spores down and see if it comes out on the second print. This is one art form that we can easily use. This nice black paper. Set the paper straight on, gently press evenly. If you prefer working with a baren to keep a very steady, even pressure, you could do that, or up the back of a spoon, or use your hands. And then we find a corner to gently peel it off with a reveal. Get a nice negative impression. And removing the botanical sample, we can then take a subsequent print on the same jelly print block. Again, gentle, even pressure. It doesn't have to be perfect. And peel it off to reveal. And we get a second print that shows a little bit more of the characteristics of the plant. And you might be able to get 2 good prints from each one, depending on the proportions of the gelatin. I used 4 packets of gelatin, dissolved it into a cup of cold water. After a few minutes, added a cup and a half of hot water, mixed it well, set it in a pan, and let it rest at room temperature overnight. It is not a difficult or expensive process, but it is fun and approachable. It can also help us widen our view of ourselves as an artist as we use serendipity and exploration rather than depending on skill. So we'll use a little bit of maple leaf here, setting it down evenly as possible. And use a piece of paper. I really like how the black paper brings out these bright colors, and especially the iridescent gold. Okay, and pulling the piece off, we get a sense for that negative impression of the maple. And we don't need to worry about whether or not it is completely centered or any other particular consideration, because this art is perfect for an open mind, good for novice and professional artists. And it really shares the shapes that the plants have to really enjoy and get to know them on a different level. This one had a little bit less of an impression. It might vary a bit. You can choose to change the colors or layer them in different ways. We'll try printing a cedar onto some off-white paper. You can use any type of paper, especially thicker cardstock. So acrylic paint gives a very nice textural effect. It looks almost like the marbling painting, and it requires very little skill in terms of abilities to draw or recreate forms of nature. They look just as beautiful on the wall as a painting. We'll use a little bit of cedar. You can play with your placement. If you would like added challenge in terms of creativity, you could set out different segments of leaves to create different shapes or spell different things. This can be very rewarding. Children can really enjoy the whole process, as well as people with limited ability to use their hands, or the elderly can also enjoy this type of printmaking. If we are regular artists, we know that no matter how much skill we have in any department, we might have some surprises. But oftentimes, just getting started in art can be a little bit challenging to feel good about everything. So this is a good exercise in enjoying it. And the cedar also is picking up just a bit of the impression, but it's not entire. And we can try a little bit more on this one just to see what the black paper picks up. There are recipes to add some glycerin to the Gelli plate that can help preserve it for longer. So if you would like to use it again, you might consider just washing it with water and storing it perhaps in a sealed container. And here's a third image of the cedar that picks up a little bit more detail. We'll do one more that has parts of the others. You can reuse some that already have paint on them. We'll put a little bit more paint on to the gel. An affordable craft as it doesn't take much investment. Gelatin is usually available at any grocery store, and it can be endlessly entertaining. It's another way to preserve the shapes of your leaves. If you are an artist that likes to work in the winter and garden in the spring and summer, one challenge is the availability of subjects while you are able to take the time to create art. So it's nice to preserve leaf shapes and take different impressions of the plants in the times of year that are most convenient for you. So it's a great way to take the impression and then you can use that for your art in the wintertime when you have more time. So this could create either a little almost an image, or you can play with setting them down and picking them up in different places. So you kind of get some more of that sense of color here. It's almost like a tie-dye, a little bit marbled. And with any paint, you might get a little bit messy. And they can be used for drop shipping art. Somebody could create repeating patterns with these. If you take a photograph and apply it to some type of object that can be printed when people order them. And you can create an art business just by using whatever is in your yard or in the beautiful environment that helps keep us alive and gives us daily inspiration. So I think that it looks nice for our gel printing. Today, we enjoyed gel plate printing, which introduces an abstract impression of a plant. Thank you for joining us. You are invited to share your work on social media with the hashtag gardening through art and find more tutorials on joyfulplant.com. See you next time.